Black Power. So as I was sharing with you yesterday, the Korean merchants at Hubert's have put out a $2,000 bounty to have us, the Africa Town Coalition, removed from in front of their store. And unfortunately, brothers that I'm familiar with, some I've known for a while, some I've known over the past few years, are responding to that call. You know, some of these brothers have even been in line on Sundays for our Break Bread program, eating with us. You know, a lot of these brothers and sisters have benefited from the work we're doing, both pushing back some of the police terrorism that affects them, and the work we've been doing pushing back against gentrification, because a lot of them who either take refuge in Kamathi Park or spend a lot of their day in Kamathi Park, or even in the parking lots back there behind the store, behind the Vision Theater, and on the other side behind Esselwan and all them spots. There's been a campaign. One of the reasons we started the Break Bread program was because over a year ago there was a push by the bougie Negroes to have all of those folks pushed out. You know, whether brothers and sisters don't have homes, whether they were calling them gangbangers, dope dealers, drug addicts, whatever, that isn't part of what we responded to, because we know a lot of brothers and sisters out there as people, human beings. So some will say, you know, our work is kind of backfired in our face now that we have some of these brothers who have benefited from our work still here to now sabotage our work. And yeah, that is one of the unfortunate ironies in working on behalf of our people. But the bigger picture is we've seen a lot of success. We've seen some of the people who were living in the park over the past year finally find residence. We've seen some of them go back with their families. One sister just had a baby. A lot of them that were warm with each other have come to terms with each other. So there's been a lot of beneficial things that have happened, and we're not going to allow this moment that we're in right now to sabotage all of that. So that's why we need 100,000 strong brothers to come stand with us. And sisters, yeah, we welcome y'all. If brothers are going to be that sorry, you know, if we can't find 1,000 out of 400,000 black people we got left in LA, and you sisters want to respond, we most definitely welcome you. You know, major salute to our sister Honey. She responded to what she saw Friday, came out Saturday, stood out there for a couple hours by herself, dealt with some of the madness, and came back Sunday, yesterday, you know, ready to go shoulder to shoulder with us, toe to toe against the opposition that's now standing up. So we most definitely appreciate that. We recognize our queen and zingers, our queen, Mother Yah Asante was. And we are grateful for that. You know, seeing how we have so many brothers that, you know, unfortunately showing the worst of us. But, yeah, at this point, that's the main thing we need. We just need more people to come forward. You know, what we're seeing is that beyond the Korean merchants at this store, possibly, well, not possibly, we know for a fact they've been giving out money. We've actually seen cats going in the back and walking out with money. Some of these brothers, like I said, I'm familiar with, that came and talked to me and told me straight up what the offer is, and tried to ask me in different ways to just shut down and get on. You know, one suggested permanently, another one tried to work out an arrangement. But from what we're seeing, very likely the Federation could be in support of this. The Korean American Grocers Association could be in support of this, and very likely even City Hall and the LAPD and others. You know, one of the things we noticed yesterday, any of you that have been out there with us know 2, 3, 4, 5 times an hour the police pass us, whether they are passing and taunting and monitoring us directly, or whether they are just passing up and down the side streets patrolling the area. But yesterday, from about 5 to 10, we didn't notice not one squad car pass by. So again, that's kind of consistent with other situations where freedom fighters were set up and the local so-called authorities were told to fall back and allow whatever played out to play out. So, you know, again, this just further verifies, y'all, that we are in this by ourselves. Ain't no help coming from nowhere else. You know, I hope y'all really paid attention to that link I was sharing about South Africa last week. I'm including a link on this video about how Idi Amin, the former leader of Uganda, had expelled a lot of the Asians out of Uganda for similar reasons. You know, Asians coming into their country, hostile, exploiting the economic conditions, disrespectful, abusive, condescending, looking down, thinking, you know, blacks, Africans are less intelligent. You know, just real quick, a side note on that, because I saw something else a brother shared in the Africa Town group, Brother Mudiwa, was a white cat speaking on how blacks are less intelligent. But again, history shows otherwise. But their main basis on rating our IQ and everything is based off curriculums they set up that benefit them. So yeah, if we as black people were to come with curriculums and institutions that benefited us, and other people, children were put into those institutions, their children would fail also. So that's what the whole basis of calling us, you know, less intelligent and all of that is. But, you know, so yeah, at this point, we just need more support, y'all. Don't allow the foolishness, the threats, the violence, all of that scare y'all from coming out and supporting us. A couple people the other day were criticizing our use of language once again. They were criticizing us confronting one of the Korean merchants. And again, this dude is paying people to kill us. So whatever conditioning has happened to you psychologically, where you feel that we should be nice to this individual, where we should not be demeaning this individual, you know, that's a part of keeping you not empowered. That's a part of that slave conditioning. At this point, you know, we are at war, because, you know, cats flashing guns on us, showing us they want to collect that $2,000. And ain't nobody on our side punks. The thing at this point is figuring out how to move forward without allowing any of us to get caught up in these traps. Even these dudes who are responding for the money, that don't get it. You know, they just caught up in the moment, seeing a couple punk ass thousands of dollars they gonna trick off in a couple days on some bullshit, not realizing they are sabotaging a very effective and successful movement that has been pushing on all of our behalf, and they have been benefiting on. So the thing at this point is moving forward and not allowing this foolishness to stop what we're doing, because that's what the Korean merchants and other entities involved in this won't. They don't give a damn about these cats who are stepping up to collect this money. They actually looking at them as puppets. You know, grateful that these dudes is willing to come out here and put their ass on the line at such a cheap rate, because again, we're dealing with a multi-billion-dollar agenda, and they throwing 2,000 punk ass dollars out to these dudes. We're fighting a multi-billion-dollar agenda. So at this point, it's how to move forward effectively without cats being killed, without cats being locked up, and allowing them to stop us from doing what we're doing, and then they continue, you know, exploiting and abusing our people. That's what they want. So however this plays out, whether y'all can come and stand with us now, if for any reason something does happen to the Africa Town Coalition and we are removed or worse, we need y'all to continue shutting not only this store down, there are other stores on Arlington and Vernon, shut that store down, and continue pushing in all these areas we pushing, y'all. That's why they are now seeking to remove us, because all these areas we are pushing, we are gaining some ground and we are being successful on our collective behalf. You know, just like Miss June had bougie Negroes fighting for her, you know, whether it's black business persons, you know, people in different professions, people in the clergy, black political persons supporting her. These two clowns now have the street Negroes. So quite often you get the bourgeoisie, the so-called talented tenth, want to talk about and point fingers to brothers in the streets, but what they were doing for Miss June is no different from what these brothers are now doing for these two new demons. So at the end of the day, loved ones, younger generation, is making sure you don't fall into this shit. You know, overcome your weaknesses, overcome your vices, because some of these cats appear like they on dope. So that's why $2,000 is that fucking serious to them. But yeah, don't matter how much knowledge, information you got, if you are not strong on the inside, all that shit goes out the window. Because don't forget, some clowns consider Karanga a super intelligent motherfucker, but because he was a sorry, pathetic ass soul, spirit, he was able to be played by the enemies. And where he does now have some superficial wealth and material possessions, you know, he's still a sorry motherfucker. And the reality to that is, most people who sell out their people sooner than later meet the same ugly fate they helped carry out against those who were fighting. So, you know, younger generation, you know, discipline, the spirit of love. And when I say love, it's not that bullshit people talking about, well, you gotta love yourself first. If you got the spirit of love, you love yourself and everything else. You know, being honest with your loved ones and comrades, being loyal, being faithful. You know, one of the things that you know, always shows what page cats is really on when they talk all this shit, but then you see how they disrespect their women. You know, they'll call them queens and say all this shit to lure them in, but then as soon as they with them, you know, they had their way with them, they now bitches. They treat them like bitches. They treat them like fucking slaves. So, again, y'all, if we don't come out of this culture, they pumping to y'all on the radio, you know, on all these devices now, you will sabotage your own success. It will be limited. That illusion they give you will be limited. You see all these so-called success stories, these has-been athletes and has-been music legends and all this shit, now broke as fuck, now strung out on dope, now out their fucking minds and dealing with all type of health conditions. That illusion they give you of money and fame and fortune, all that shit, is to exploit your ass and to lead your many followers and fans into a similar lifestyle destruction, and then dispose of your ass. The same way your fans and followers will self-destruct, they will dispose of your ass. So this revolution entails all of that, y'all. It's not just being able to get up and talk all this rhetoric and how many fucking guns you got and how many fades you could catch and all that shit. Because at the end of the day, all them same suckers doing that shit, when they not solid on the inside, you see how they keep punking out when the police roll up on their ass. You see how they quick to snitch on a motherfucker. You see how they sabotage everything they participate in. So all of that is needed for a more successful movement. Just on a personal note, today gives me about 2 weeks until I'm due back in court. As of now, I've only raised 200 of the 4,000 that is needed to retain this sister. I was giving myself until today as the deadline to do that, but because of all this other shit happening, you know, like I said, a lot of us in the coalition are seeking residence, y'all. You know, we dealing with a lot of the same issues y'all dealing with, but we know if we just focus on personal self, we gonna be like everybody else, displaced. That's why we are engaged collectively in this fight. But because of all of these things, you know, the option some brothers keep telling me to represent myself, I just don't have the time for right now. You know, it's just not going to happen. So The only other option at this point is to use this public pretender who already expressed when I was in court last time, he wasn't trying to motion to have the case thrown out, but now the sisters kind of shared with me that there's a lot in this case that suggests that could be possible. I'm going to press him if that's who I have to roll with, because now Friday is pretty much the deadline. I won't be able to do it next week, because next week a lot of folks celebrate Thanksgiving, so that wouldn't give the sister time to really prepare her case, prepare whatever motions, to communicate wherever she needs to communicate. So yeah, if I don't have that by Friday, then I'm gonna have to go with this person they appointed me at my last appearance. So if you're in position to do that, I still need help with that. You can make a donation on our website, blackson365.com. Use the link at the bottom. The link at top does not work. I have not been able to communicate to my developer yet to resolve that, but the link at the bottom of the page does work. I'm including a direct link on this video. GoFundMe, like I was sharing a couple weeks ago, for whatever reason, is just not allowing me to set up an account. Or if you can, just come holler at me in person. Some folks have suggested I reach out to a couple other attorneys out here, but I know a lot of these people. They know me. They knew I was locked up. I didn't get visits from anyone while I was locked up. Any of them while I was locked up, excuse me. I did get Comrade Kevin, Elder Comrade Harold visit me, and I appreciate that. But for these attorneys y'all suggesting, they even before I was locked up, they've shown, they, for whatever reason, have issue with me. My personal opinion of them, they not movement people. They black capitalists. So, that's what that is. And just moving forward, again, all of you that are available, we need y'all to come on out right now. This is not a reality show. We are engaged in work that affects all of our lives. We are all targets and being terrorized by the police, these white hate groups, the sheriffs, and other terrorist organizations in this country. We are all currently being affected by the gentrification, no matter how poor, how much wealth people think they got. We are all potential targets of the prison industrial complex. We all are in need of taking better control of our economy, and we are all in need of a stronger governing body amongst ourselves. And the only way we could do that is with your support, getting off your ass, coming forward, and helping us do this. Don't be afraid of it. In numbers, y'all, we got the power, and we need y'all. Black power.